So my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you were largely opposed to Donald Trump supporting him because he was perverting the conservative party.
Yeah, that's basically right.
And if he were to lose, it would cause us to lose the next following elections as well as this one. What do you think is a bigger threat to the conservative party, him perverting and if he were to have lost, or a Democrat being elected, like say Hillary, and granting voting rights to non-citizens and
yeah.
being
So I mean, this was the serious risk calculation during the election cycle. So the way that I saw my vote, right? There are two ways to see the vote, and I said this many times during the election cycle. Is there are two candidates? You got to pick one. The voucher expires at midnight, right? It's the day after the election. Your vote doesn't mean anything, so who cares? That's way one. If that had been the way that I view voting, I would have voted for Trump because he would have reflected the priorities that I have for the government better than Hillary. The second way of voting is to say that my vote represents a stamp of moral imprimatur on somebody, and that if I'm going to vote for anyone, that person has to fulfill my basic standard for being president. Neither of these two people fulfilled my basic standard for being president, and therefore I didn't vote for either of them. At no point at any time did I say that Hillary Clinton would have been a better president than Donald Trump or that I wanted Hillary Clinton to be president. What I said is there were significant risks to Donald Trump being president, and there were to Hillary as well. But the significant risk to Donald Trump being president was that a lot of people were going to buy into a lot of the bullshit he spews, and that at that point, a lot of bad things were going to happen to the movement itself. They were going to start embracing fringe figures. They were going to start pretending that bad ideologies were part of the core. They were going to start embracing movements that I think are really vile. They're going to pervert their own ideology on the shoals of victory. That was sort of my argument. We'll see if that takes place. I hope and I pray that I was wrong about that as I was about the election. I, like everybody else who looked at data, thought he was going to lose. But if I'm right, then I think the way that conservatives can save themselves here is take the good and excise the bad. Take what's good from Trump in terms of policy, and then figure out, how to distance yourself from when he says silly things, because that's not your responsibility.